of, you know what I mean?
With a nice little hop there, it looks like CBD might be running this in order to spring his blocker out of the box. I don't know if that is, when you do that against Static Shock, that's a fast skater.
Sammy Dees takes a derby kiss to the infield.
CBD hit showing that he's a fast skater too, former USARS player. And just as that blocker gets out of the box, CBD is going to go ahead and call it. It looks like one of the beekeepers picked up a penalty there, so blocker advantage is going to go to the red flags on this next jam.
Official top timeout. Sammy's up and doing 900s all the way back to the medic area. Good to see.
This timeout brought to you by Top. Top Sports, your source for the best scrims, ref tops, and more. Performance patterns made in the USA. Be your own top athlete.
Thank you, Spain. Rolling into jam number 6 with 24:55 on the clock.
We have AA Battery jamming for the Beekeepers up against Tara Tot for the Red Flags.
Wow.
AA Battery through for lead jammer.
Using all 1.5 volts.
At least.
Jam gets called. Everybody looking around saying why, but it's called nevertheless. It's what we call a wash.
A walsh.
A wash. A 0-0 jam.
A wash.
It's a wash.
A wash.
Double donuts. You know, like you wash your clothes?
Yeah. Wash?
Wash your dishes.
Yes. So that one was a wash. Got it. Got it. I understand you now, Johnny.
Jamming it for the Beekeepers, going up against Enya. Blindside, and Rolling Thunder grabs that lead jammer status, rolling across the Toy Division pivot line.
Anya Blindside able to make her way through on the initial pass. And some nice defense there by number 110 for the Red Flags. Goes ahead and forces Rolling Thunder to call it off, but not before scoring 4 points for the St. Louis Beekeepers.
Absolutely. And the Beekeepers are going by their game plan. They're just getting what they can and calling it. Oh, were we not refreshed?
Very close game so far, which is kind of what we saw the last time these two teams competed against each other.
Well, in case you're just joining us, it's 17-14. This is jam number 8. 23 minutes on the clock.
Malibu, your lead jammer, but Wild Style doing an apex jump there. Oh! And going out on a track cut for that apex jump. So this is going to be a power jam opportunity for the Red Flags.
Mally Boomer with lead jammer status and a power jam situation. Goes ahead and calls it off, freezing that Beekeeper jammer in the fire dial penalty box. Oh yeah, I already have.
It's very rude of them to freeze Wild Style in the box. Bees don't like the cold.
But frozen they are right now. At least for the next 10 seconds or so. CBD hits. Dancing on the toe stops. And CBD hits just did something I've never seen done before.
What's that, Johnny?
He recycled. He's trying to save the planet and save himself a 30-second recess in the fire dial penalty box. That's awesome.
Well, good job of the beekeepers forcing CBD to do something you've never seen before.
A penalty kill. Or we would have had a jammer swap. Ah. Yes, I hope everybody refreshed your computers. It was on our end, I promise. But if you're playing at home, that's a lead change. Everybody hydrate.
Good idea, Johnny. Hydrate or dihydrate.
Absolutely. This official timeout is brought to you by Top. I do want to encourage everybody to go out there and check out all the lovely vendors, including Black Thumb Creations. Stop by Black Thumb Creations for handmade beaded plants and flowers. They'll never die. You can't kill them. Tell them Johnny Pepper sent you for that 0% discount. Back to the action on the track.
Jamming for the team in blue. That's the St. Louis Beekeepers. It's number 5-5 Static Shock. And in red, we have the red flags. And jamming for them is Terratot. But lead jammer is going to go to Static Shock from the St. Louis Beekeepers.
Static Shock going a little bit faster than 55. Coming up on the pack on a scoring pass.
Static Shock doing at least 60 and scoring 4 points.
Almost untouched. Terratot sneaks through and picks up 2, though. $25-28 red flags on top for the moment. 20 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. And we're going to be rolling into jam number 11 once we get started. Tell us where you're watching from, and we might give you a shout out.
So jamming for the red flags, we have Anya Blindside. And for the Beekeepers, it's AA Battery. And AA Battery is going to the penalty box. Oh, no. Yeah, sorry. There's a little confusion there. AA Battery is your lead jammer. Sheesh from the Beekeepers going to the penalty box on a direction of gameplay penalty. AA Battery doing an excellent job of pushing against this defensive wall for the red flags, finding their way on that outside line. 4 more points for the St. Louis Beekeepers. A little offense there from Badger the Witness. Helps AA Battery squeak 2 more points right at the end. And I can say they did exactly that.
Cool. I love being back. Hope you enjoyed that Skate Good commercial. Skate Good Club. They got unis, scrim tops, officials, helmet covers, armbands, all the good stuff at Skate Good. All the way from the other side of the pond. Well, as it stands right now with 10 points on that last jam, Beekeepers 35, Red Flags 28. 19-12. That is a lead change if you're playing at home. Hydrate. We get a show and information from Thriller. That dot's going to disappear, says Thriller. Not going to turn into a plus sign. So you just lose it for the half, that's all.
19 minutes, they'll get another one.
Tell us what's happening out there, Petty.
Out there right now, we have CBD Hits
Woo-hoo!
getting lead jammer for the Red Flags, but hot on his tail, it's Lil Nas Slaypex from the St. Louis Beekeepers. Oh,
wow.
And with a huge air jump on that inside line, CBD Hits is through. 4 points for the Red Flags.
That was Tony Hawk air right there.
But with a pretty little run on the inside line, Slaypex is now through. That's 4 points for the St. Louis Beekeepers. Ooh, and Slay just twirled his way to 4 more points.
Nice defensive work there from Sheesh, owner of one of those coveted MVP trophies that were given away. The giant waffles on the chain.
Oh, with a whip there on the inside line. CBD now through 4 points. LJ, I'm not going to lie. This might be my favorite jam I have ever seen in my entire roller derby life. I can't even. I love both of these jammers so much. They have flair. They have style. They are doing laps and getting all the points right now. I love this.
CBD Hits with a McFalcon shirt whip. McFalcon committed a penalty there somewhere, going to the $5 penalty pagoda.
Yes, but did you just see Slay do a zigzag jump through the pack and get 4 more points?
Thank you, watching, Mambo.
I can't wait to watch the replay of that jam.
43 points in that jam. You know what I'm saying? Nice. Woo! 55-51, 17-11. I don't know. If you're not on the edge of your seat, you're not paying attention. Rolling into Jam 13. Tell us what's happening out there, Petty.
Right now, we have Rolling Thunder wearing the star for the St. Louis Beekeepers. The St. Louis Beekeepers in blue. But lead jammer is going to go to Maliboomer from the Red Flags. Red Flags joining us from California and showing their style of love to the Beekeepers right now.
I heard a whistle. I don't see anybody leaving the track. It could have been an inadvertent whistle. Both teams with 4 points in this jam so far.
Nice stop there on Rolling Thunder by Red Flags blocker on the inside line. Giving Roland a little bit of trouble. And there's a hit out by Sammy Dees on that outside line.
Maliboomer picking up 4 more points. That's a whole box of Krispy Kremes. Thank you, Krispy Kreme, for sponsoring IHOD 26.
Red Flags now down their pivot as Sammy Dees goes to the box on a back block penalty.
Rolling Thunder with a dozen points of their own, claiming that Krispy Kreme number as well. But the Red Flags are going to pick up 20 points on that jam. And that's another lead change. 67-71, 15 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this first half. We got a timeout called, brought to you by Top. Sure, I mean, you know, but if you want to hit the button, you can hit the button.
Yeah.
All right, we're back live in steaming color. 12 points to the Beekeepers in that last jam, 20 points for the Red Flags, 67-71. 15:02 on the clock. And the clock is frozen at 15:02. Going to start when this team timeout morphs into gameplay.
And when we come out of this timeout, we're going to have Static Shock jamming for the Beekeepers up against Terra Tot for the Red Flags.
Take it away there, Petty.
Oh, getting a nice assist there on that outside line. Static Shock is going to be your lead jammer.
Terra Tot clear on that initial.
Static Shock going to jump through. Get 4 points for the St. Louis Beekeepers. Oh, no. Static Shock going to the box on a track cut now. So this is going to be a power jam.
That dang ghost blocker.
This jam will go its full 2 minutes as Static Shock was lead jammer before getting that cut.
Terra Tot with 4 on the pocket. Coming up on another scoring pass. Goes through on the inside, almost untouched. Beekeepers are going to have to lock down that defense on the next scoring pass.
Excellent offense by the Red Flags there, keeping Terra Tot from being touched.
Red Flags try to help out. Somebody's going to lose for a forearm. Each team's going to lose a blocker to the...
I love how aggressive both these teams are looking right now. Static Shock through, 4 points for the St. Louis Beekeepers. Red Flags down 2 blockers right now, giving Static Shock a few free points. So 4 more points to the St. Louis Beekeepers.
There must be some fire doll candles down there in that penalty box because everybody seems to want to go there for a minute.
I'm sure it smells lovely thanks to those fire doll candles.
Little by little, everybody's coming out.
And now this is going to be a power jam opportunity. Most likely leading into a power start opportunity for the Beekeepers as Terra Tot goes to the box on a back block penalty.
That 2-minute jam come to its conclusion is what happened. Terra Tot does go to the box in the last second of that jam. Red Flags pick up 15 on that jam. Beekeepers pick up 11. But there is a meeting in the middle. So there might be some points added. We got an official timeout brought to you by Top. Thank you, S. Payne and friends.
Yeah, I think they're discussing that back block. It was a pretty huge back block. I think it wasn't an intentional back block, but it did have a pretty big impact. So it looks like they might be discussing some things.
Indeed. Discuss away. While we're discussing away, let's talk about Roller Derby Level Up, proud sponsor of our scoreboard. Personalized online training to help you level up and off the track. With over 10 years experience in fitness and nutrition, Roller Derby Level Up can help you improve your game. Find it on the link tree. And if you're already watching our stream, then you know about the link tree there. Use it. Check out our lovely sponsors. You want to shout out any other ones?
Yes, for those
While we
of
got
you
time?
joining us here in St. Louis, make sure you go to the after party tonight at Up Down. It's going to be a lot of fun. Up Down has over 80 plus arcade games, 50 beers on tap, craft cocktails, and hand-tossed pizza by the slice. So the party starts at 8:30. Make sure you join us.
Where's it at?
Up Down.
Is there an address?
100 St. Louis Street
Woohoo!
in downtown St.
Get out
Louis.
your phone. Write it down now. Buy your favorite announcer a roll of quarters.
They've actually donated the token so we can have free play tonight.
Woohoo!
Thank you,
I
Up
love free
Down.
play. Not enough to get me to the after party, but
What if I told you they have Aerosmith pinball at
You
up down?
know, that pillow sounds a lot better to me right now.
I assure you that Aerosmith pinball is worth missing a few minutes with your pillow.
I'm not saying it ain't. And, you know, I like the Toxic Twins a whole lot, but well, I know it's early in the first half, but if you've got some MVP selections you'd like us to consider, go ahead and type that into the chat. We'll go ahead and give it a once over. The chat picked the MVPs of 2 games ago, just to let you know. So it can happen. Beekeeper.
And now AA Battery is going to be your lead jammer.
Exactly what the Beekeepers needed. We have a star pass. CBD hits now the jammer record for the Red Flags. And you know, like I say, 4 whistles usually follow a star pass, and that's what happened just now. Beekeepers get 4, 82 to 86. Red Flags on top for a moment. 11-11 on the clock and counting down. Happy Angel time, everybody.
Jamming for the Red Flags, it's on your blind side, but lead jammer is going to go to Little Nas Slaypex from the St. Louis Beekeepers. Oh, and a nice little hop there on the inside line. 4 points for the Beekeepers.
Absolutely a stylish call off, I might add.
Red Flags putting up nothing. So now we have a tie game again. Second time in this half.
That's a lead change in my book.
Hydrate.
Any reason to have a little sip of tea. Jam number 17 is going to start with 10:16 on the clock. We're all knotted up at 86. Tell us what's going on out there, Petty.
We have Rolling Thunder for the Beekeepers taking lead jammer, but wearing the star for the Red Flags as CBD hits. CBD finding his way out of an initial pass.
Wow.
Rolling Thunder calling it there, but not before CBD can squeak in 2 points. So 4-2 in favor of the St. Louis Beekeepers.
That's just flat out speed getting those 2 points. And that is another lead change. Beekeepers on top right now, 90 to 88. 9.5 minutes to go in this first frame.
Jamming for the Beekeepers, it's going to be number 5-5 Static Shock up against Maliboomer for the Red Flags, joining us here from California. And the Red Flags are going to take lead jammer.
Maliboomer saying hi to all the crowd.
Static Shock through on initial pass. And some whistles there, put the Beekeepers down a blocker. Static Shock through for 4 points. Slaytoven there giving Maliboomer some trouble. Oh no, Slaytoven going to the box on a penalty. So Beekeepers now down both their pivot and 1 blocker. It looks like the Red Flags are going to take advantage of having the blocker advantage and run this. Red Flags now down a blocker.
Wow. Both jammers have a box of Krispy Kremes in their pocket. Moving up 4 more, makes 16.
That fire doll penalty box must smell lovely. There were 4 players in that box at one point.
We're all jammers.
I'm not.
I've seen you jam before.
But speaking of jammers, we have Static Shock in the front here doing an excellent job of absorbing these hits from this defensive wall of red flags. Oh, but Sammy D's right at the end is going to take Static Shock out. Just 10 seconds left in what has been a hard-hitting jam this half.
A big 2-minute jam. We're going to add some more points there at the end. Looks like 43 points on that jam between the two teams.
Tough jam for both teams, but you can see that's reflected in the scores, how tight they are right now.
22 to the Beekeepers, 23 to the Red Flags. Red Flags take a 1-point lead. 111, 110. 6:50 to go in this first frame. Oh, my.
CBD hits jamming for the Red Flags up against AA Battery for the Beekeepers. CBD doing a little twist on that inside line, going to be your lead jammer. Lola Chola doing an excellent job up here at the front on AA Battery.
Joined by McFalcon. They get just a little bit outside the engagement zone and have to let go.
AA Battery through 4 points for the Beekeepers. CBD able to spring blocker from the box and is going to call it before AA can capitalize on that cute little apex jump.
Woo! So I was thinking a little while ago, if AA batteries have 1.45 volts in them and 36 points, that takes 24 of them batteries to make 36 points. Just saying.
Impressive math there, Johnny.
I did it on my calculator, and I thought about it for about 10 minutes before I said it.
Little Nas Slaypex going to take lead jammer for the St. Louis Beekeepers.
Slaypex indeed.
Anya blindside, making quick work of the pack and on a scoring pass. But going to be forced to call up, forcing Slaypex to call up, but getting 0 points.
Slaypex does pick up 3.
Yeah, you did.
117
Good job, baby.
to 119. Little under 5 minutes to go in this first frame.
Rolling Thunder wearing the star for the St. Louis Beekeepers in blue up against the Red Flags, who, if you haven't guessed, are wearing red. And their jammer is going to be CBD hits.
Appropriate. Jam 20 is going to start with 4:30 on the clock.
I mean, it would have been kind of cool if they switched.
I always think it is.
And CBD hits is going to be your lead jammer.
CBD hits picking up some speed coming up on the back. Looks at that block to put a blue in the back of the pack.
Excellent footwork there from Rolling Thunder, staying on one skate.
Makes it through 3 of that block-to-puss. And gets around the hips for the full 4. CBD hits picks up those 4 points. 123 to 117. 4 minutes left to go in this first half. Rolling into jam number 22.
Static Shock jamming for the St. Louis Beekeepers with Mala Boomer wearing the star for the Red Flags.
Dolcen Bente for all my Spanish-speaking people. Mally Boomer wearing that star for the Red Flags going up against Static Shock.
Both jammers feeling the push of some heavy defense this time. And it looks like the Beekeepers are going to lose one of their blockers.
They were all amoeba'd up for a little while, and now they're getting kind of spread out.
Nice hit there from Sammy D's, forces Static Shock to the back. And it's going to be Maliboomer who takes lead jammer.
Everybody hanging out at the toy division pivot line.
Nice stop there from number 13, Otter, for the St. Louis Beekeepers.
Rolling backwards to the thread, sweat and tears jam line.
Static shock through on initial pass.
Back in the starting box they go. And that jam's going to get called.
So penalty box was cleared right before that jam ended. So we're going to start with our full complement of skaters on both sides.
All 80 wheels ablazing.
Is it really 80? You know, I'd never did that math before, Johnny. Thank you.
You're welcome. Unless somebody loses one.
Did you do that one on your calculator too?
No. I've been saying that for a long, long time.
Jamming for the red flags is going to be number 124 CBD Hits up against Double A Battery for the St. Louis Beekeepers.
Everybody all scrummed up right there.
Scrummed up on that thread, sweat, and tears jam line.
Yes, they are. Inching forward.
Thanks, Murda.
To the toy division pivot line. And now we're all in turn 1.5. Lola throwing those hits around and those braids.
Double A Battery through and becomes lead jammer. This is a power jam, actually, as CBD is in the box.
Lola and Sammy doing some defensive work out there for the red flags.
I like that little squat thing that CBD just did to try to be tricksy coming out of that box.
Vicky Mouse trying to break up that tripod at the back of the bag.
Huge hit on by number 708 from the St. Louis Beekeepers on CBD Hits.
Nice.
Oh, but gonna pay for it, Badger. Naughty, naughty. But worth it. It was kind of worth it.
For sure. Jam gets called. Still got 44 seconds left to go in the period clock. 11 points to the Beekeepers, and that's another lead change. 128, 127.
I got to make sure I have my Dr. Pepper ready for the second half.
I'm not going to do that because with all these lead changes, I'd have to have about 4 or 5 of them, and that's not good for me, my doctor says.
Jamming for the St. Louis Beekeepers is going to be Little Nas Slapex up against Anya Blindside.
Slapex grabbing that lead jammer status.
Coming out of a full back bend to get lead jammer.
You ain't lying. Anya Blindside, clear on that initial.
And with a twirl, Slapex is going to call it 1-0 in favor of the Beekeepers. That was pretty by both.
What a half.
Both jammers did a twirl. Wow.
If you missed that, I'm sorry. 129, 127. Go pop you some popcorn. Get you some beverages of your choice. We'll be right back. I'm Johnny Pepper.
And I'm Petty Lavelle.
You know I'm one of a kind, or so I've been told. No matter where we go, I know we're gonna make it. No matter where we go, I know we're not alone. We face it all cause now we know that we can take it. We face it all cause we go big or we go home. Dance like you made it, you found it all. This is paradise. Dance like you made it, you found it all. This is paradise. This is paradise. This is paradise.
Yo.
This
All right. Looks like we're back for the second half of game number 9, which is the last game of the day here on Catterday. Happy Catterday, Petty.
Happy Catterday, Johnny.
I am Johnny Pepper.
And I am Petty Bobel, and
We're gonna-
thank you for joining us for the 4th annual IHOD here in
Yes.
St. Louis.
This is my second.
This is my first. I am new to the St. Louis area.
I had to miss it last year for, I think, a junior tournament I was doing.
Well, we're glad to have you here with us this year,
I'm glad
Johnny.
to be back. I love the IHOD.
Well, I love IHOD too, and hopefully those of you joining us at home and here live in St. Louis are having a great time at IHOD as well. This has been a really exciting first half. I cannot wait to see the second half of Derby. We've seen in our first half a rematch right now between the Red Flags.
8 lead changes. 8 lead changes in that first half. If you were drinking on every lead change, you are sufficiently hydrated. As it stands right now, 129 to 127, Beekeepers are up on top. I see we got emotional support puppies in the house. Love watching puppies on the screen. They're even on penalties, 17 to 19. Only one person in trouble. We're not going to name names, but they know who they are.
I believe in them. They got it. 0 penalties, second half. Let's go.
0 penalties in the second half. That would be amazing. Want to shout out everybody that has 0 penalties.
Yeah, do more stuff. Everybody gets 1 at least. Come on now. Just kidding. Just kidding. Safety
Yeah,
first.
Safety first.
Respect for the rules.
5 seconds away from the second half, and it starts right now.
And our first jammer for this second half on the St. Louis Beekeepers in blue is going to be Static Shock. And Static Shock is going to be lead. But hot on Static heels, it's number 124 CBD hits for the Red Flags, who, in case you haven't guessed it, are wearing red.
CBD Hits wins that race back to the back. Goes
0-0
into the tripod
jam.
at the front.
Oh, so you taught me this in the first half, Johnny. That was a wash.
Yeah, it's a wash.
It's a wash.
It's a wash.
Next jammer for the St. Louis Beekeepers, it's AA Battery up against Terra Tot for the Red Flags, joining us from California.
If you put a dot in each one, it'd be googly eyes. 0-0.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Johnny, you're too fast for me right now. I'm laser focused on this action that's happening on the track.
As well, you should be.
So
AA
we're seeing
Battery wearing that star for the Beekeepers going up against Teratot. Take it away there, Betty.
this scrum pack right in turn 1, but here it's going to be Teratot who emerges lead jammer from it.
Teratot comes on the back of that defense.
Oh, but AA Battery using every volt in the pack in order to jump on that inside line.
Looks like we're going to have 2 points to red, 4 points to blue, 133, 129. Beekeepers on top for a moment. Rolling into jam number 3.
Anya Blindside wearing the star for the Red Flags up against Little Nas Slaypex for the St. Louis Beekeepers.
Only 3 minutes elapsed in this half.
So lead jammer is going to go to Little Nas Slaypex, but Anya Blindside is speeding through this track.
Wow.
So Anya Blindside actually ends up taking it 1-0 in favor of the Red Flags.
Crazy things are happening out there in the track. Hope everybody's entertained out there.
I'm very entertained
I know
over
I
here,
am.
Johnny. This
I'm
has
on the
been a
edge of my
great day.
seat. We got an official top timeout brought to you by Top.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm feeling high when I'm low, 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 low.
Thanks to our good friends over at CVM Sports. Check them out, cvmsports.com. They got some brand new backpacks and things. You don't want to miss out on all that good stuff over there at cvmsports.com. Tell them Johnny Pepper sent you. Rolling right into jam number 4.
So
What
this
did
is
Thriller
going
tell
to
you?
that this is going to be a power jam opportunity for the Red Flags because Little Nas Pax from the St. Louis Beekeepers was assessed a skating out of bounds penalty.
Oh, wow. From that Apex hop?
Presumably.
Yeah, there were so many people in front, we didn't get to see that.
So Maliboomer is your lead jammer now.
Slapex standing in the box, less than 10 seconds remaining.
Little Nas Pax back on the track for the St. Louis Beekeepers, hitting that defensive wall hard.
Fire dial penalty box is clear.
Lola Tola doing a nice job of trying to stop Little Nas Pax, but Pax is through 4 points for the St. Louis Beekeepers.
Coach calls for a call off, and it happens.
Oh, excuse me, that was not 4 points. That was still Pax on an initial pass.
Woo! 12 points for the Red Flags on that jam. That's a lead change. 142 to 133. Red Flags on top at the moment. Little under 26 minutes to go in this contest.
CBD hits for the Red Flags, wearing the star up against Rolling Thunder for the St. Louis Beekeepers.
In that game, that AA battery had that 36-point jam. Rolling Thunder had 68 points total. Hence the MVP award.
And CBD Hits is going to be your lead jammer.
CBD is picking up speed. Coming
This
up on that pack fast.
So you mentioned the points. This is the second game of the day for CBD Hits, who had a 32-point jam earlier, getting close to that highest point that the Beekeeper had yesterday.
CBD Hits goes around the outside, takes those 4, and calls it. 5 jams in, rolling into jam number 6. Clock ticking down under 25 minutes to go of gameplay. 133 to 146. Red Flags on top at the moment.
Static Shock jamming for the Beekeepers up against Maliboomer from the Red Flags, joining us from California. And Static Shock is going to pick up lead jammer. Some pivot on pivot action happening there at the front. I love to see it. And with a little bit of offensive help, Static is going to call it there.
Another double donut jam. Staying in that Krispy Kreme mode. Thank you, Krispy Kreme, for sponsoring IHOD 2026. Those perfect donuts in the morning are yummy.
Oh, don't get me started on donuts, Johnny. I'm going to take us back into the game instead. We have AA battery jamming for the St. Louis Beekeepers up against Terratot. Oh, still on food for the Red Flags. Double A battery able to find that hole through his own wall and get lead jammer.
Tot trying to get through that blue defensive wall.
Oh, a nice hop from Double A battery. There through for 4 more points.
Cat Daddy, the last line of defense.
And Double A able to squeak in 4 more points before Tot is able to score.
For sure, sliced right through the middle of the bat and called it off. 8 points to the Beekeepers. 3 points separating these two teams. 143 to 146. Red Flags on top with 22:45 on the clock.
Little Nas Slapex jamming for blue up against Anya Blindside. Anya Blindside for the Red Flags.
Say your words. Blah, blah, blah. Red leather, yellow leather. It's an old radio trick. Little Nas Slapex called for a infraction. Off to the fire dial penalty, Dakota. That's a power jam for Anya Blindside.
Anya Blindside finding the right side, which was apparently the inside line, and getting through for lead jammer. Anya Blindside on a scoring pass now.
I'm glad everybody's wearing knee pads because they're sure hitting the ground pretty hard.
Anya Blindside doing an excellent job of absorbing some huge hits from this Gatekeeper's defensive wall.
Oh, Slapex comes out of the fire dial penalty box fast.
That was
forcing
almost
that
a
call
full
off.
penalty kill.
For sure. Red Flags do pick up 4 points on that jam, however. 150 to 143, 7 points separating these two teams. Be rolling into jam number 9.
So we are seeing a rematch. These two teams played each other earlier this season.
Jam 9 starts with 21:12 on the clock. Shout out to all my Rush fans out there.
Rolling Thunder wearing the star for the St. Louis Beekeepers. But up at the front, it's going to be CBD Hits for the Red Flags, who takes lead jammer.
Badger, that last line of defense, just didn't want to let go. Beekeepers with a block to push at the front of the pack.
CBD putting a huge hit on Schlitthroat for the St. Louis Beekeepers.
That was a big hit.
Honestly, rude.
Wow. CBD Hits, gets told, call it. Calls it and takes those 4 points and rolls back to the team bench. 154 to 143, 9 points separating these two teams with 20:11 on the clock. Rolling into jam number 10.
Pack advantage going to go to the St. Louis Beekeepers on this next jam.
Timeout Red. Timeout brought to you by Top.
Top makes tops, if you didn't know.
Top near, top notch.
Excellent sportswear and performance wear from Scrim Tops, Ref Tops, in beautiful patterns made right here in the USA.
Right, you know, especially right there in Texas.
Thanks, Top.
Thank you, Spain and friends. You know, you've heard us talk about the Fire Doll Penalty Box, but Fire Doll Penalty Box brought to you by Fire Doll Studio. Handcrafted candles, creative experience, and good vibes in downtown Champaign in Illinois.
And right now we can see the bees are swarming the Thread, Sweat, and Tears jam line.
Indeed. I'm picking up what you're throwing down. A trio of those Beekeepers up on the toy division pivot line.
Static Shock jamming for the Beekeepers up against Maliboomer for the Red Flags. And Static Shock is going to be your lead jammer. Penalty box cleared for the moment. Oh, just kidding.
Mally Boomer took a dirty kiss to the infield, recycles all the way back to the Toy Division pivot line, and then gets clear. Static Shock awarded lead jammer status, clear as well. Both jammers coming up on a scoring pass. I see a lot of red jerseys out there on the track and not that many blue ones. Looking over at the red dot penalty box, a lot of blue shirts.
Well, the penalty box is about to be cleared of those blue shirts, but one will stay from the red team in that penalty box, and that is their pivot.
Static Shot goes ahead and calls it off, picking up 12 points in that process. 155 to 162. Red Flags pick up 8. Well, we tried to manifest the whole half with no penalties, but we weren't able to do so.
We made it almost 12 minutes with no penalties,
Absolutely.
and that is a win in and of itself. All right,
Good job.
great job.
Meanwhile, rolling into jam number 11, AA Battery going up against Terror Tide.
Terratot down her pivot right now.
And a blocker. Mick Falcon off to the penalty box.
AA Battery is your lead jammer right now. Finding that hop on that inside line. 4 points for the St. Louis Gatekeepers.
Terror Tide's pivot just come out of the box. Skated in and grabbed that star on the way by.
Well, AA able to score points before the pivot can. It's going to bring us not quite to a lead change, but close.
Chipping away. 3 points separating these two teams with 17:26 on the clock. Rolling into jam number 12.
Lil Nas Slaypex jamming for the St. Louis Beekeepers up against Malaboomer for the Red Flags.
And since we are in jam number 12, that reminds me about 12 Krispy Kremes in a box.
Thanks, Krispy Kreme. And lead jammer is going to go to Little Nas Slaypex. And this is going to be a power jam opportunity
Power jam,
for
power
the St. Louis
jam.
Beekeepers. Malaboomer going to the box on a track cut.
Mally Boomer on a track cut.
And it looks like the Red Flags are going to be down their pivot now, going to the box on a, I believe it was a direction of gameplay penalty. Little Slaypex through 4 points for the St. Louis Beekeepers. There, now we have the lead change.
Woo!
And for a moment, it's nice.
Nice.
Malaboomer still on
another
initial
scoring
pass.
Go ahead.
Malaboomer started on initial pass, but now through on that initial pass. And Slaypex is going to call it.
Not before grabbing 16 points. And that's a big lead change. 177, 162, 15:46 on the clock and counting down. Rolling into jam 13.
We have Roland Thunder rolling into Jam 13 for the St. Louis Beekeepers up against Anya Blindside for the Red Flags.
It's a tongue twister.
I'm just going to accept that I have a speech
Absolutely
impediment.
it is.
Rolling Thunder is going to be your lead jammer.
I got the AC/DC song stuck in my head.
Jace of Spades.
Lola Chola's going to go to the box for a 30-second recess from that awesome defense. Ooh, big hit on McFalcon.
We call that a soul save here
Yes.
in St. Louis. And after having his soul saved, Rolling Thunder is going to go ahead and call it.
Wow. Beekeepers pick up 4 points and stretch that lead out a little bit.
Sheesh was on that soul save. Hallelujah.
19 points separating these two teams. 181, 162, 14:20 on the clock.
Bringing us into our next jam for the St. Louis Beekeepers in blue. It's going to be number 5-5 Static Shock up against number 1-2-4 CBD Hits for the Red Flags.
Woo, Static Shock grabbing that lead jammer status.
Oh, some huge hits from Diana Slamma on CBD
Indeed.
Hits.
You've been seeing that at practice,
Oh,
haven't you?
more hits. CBD showing why he's called CBD Hits. For the hits part.
Yes.
Okay, maybe for the CBD part a little bit too.
We got a timeout called on the floor. This timeout brought to you by Top.
Joining us here in house, you better go sign up to get a tattoo by Griever now so you can get in line for tomorrow. You know, tomorrow is when everybody's going to try to get one because it's the end of the weekend.
Absolutely. You better book it now.
Sign ups are first come, first serve.
First come, first serve.
Double A Battery is going to be the jammer for the Beekeepers in blue up against Maliboomer. Now even names that I can say I can't say.
Boomer.
Oh, Maliboomer
No.
taking a boom, but still getting lead jammer.
Lead jam still up for grabs. That was a no earned pass.
Thank you for the correction, Johnny.
Don't pay attention to your red flashing screen.
I mean, they were able
And
to
then
call
maybe
it.
so.
I mean, they were able to call it, so I'm going to guess that they were actually
You know?
lead jam.
It is what it is.
Every now and then, I'm right.
That just makes me wrong. And I've been wrong before. I've been married
Ooh.
33 years. I'm wrong a lot.
Ooh, so a repeat now of my favorite jam from our first half, which was Lil Nas Slapex from the Beekeepers up against CBD Hits.
I
For the Red
remember that
Flags.
43-point jam.
Oh, yeah, we saw a lot of pretty things that time. And, oh, we're seeing some pretty things now, too. Look at these spins.
Ooh.
Look at this footwork. Look at that outside line being taken by Slapex. Oh, but look at that run by CBD Hits. Oh, huge hit from Little Nas Slapex, but huge jump from CBD Hits. Little Nas able to call it and get the 4 points before CBD can capitalize on that huge jump.
8 points to the Beekeepers on that jam, 193. Red Flags held scoreless once again, 166.
On our next whistle, we'll have Rolling Thunder jamming for the St. Louis Beekeepers up against Anya Blindside for the Red Flags. Rolling Thunder, your lead jammer.
Beekeepers defense starting to log down, held Red Flags scoreless 5 of the last 6 jams.
Excellent work by the Beekeepers. Excellent jump by Rolling Thunder from the Beekeepers.
Thanks to our super
Anya
producer,
still on initial
Smacks.
pass. Oh, Rolling Thunder going to the penalty box on a track cut penalty. So this is now going to be a power jam opportunity for Anya Blindside from the Red Flags. Anya trying to punch her way through, looking for her offense.
That Beekeeper defense in the front of the pack, though.
Star Pass going to Whiplash from the Red Flags, who will now be jammer for the rest of this jam, as Rolling Thunder was lead before going to the penalty box. Red Flags attempting to bust up this wall of Beekeepers, but Beekeepers locking it down on the defense.
Lola Chola back up after a hard hit into the face.
Rolling Thunder up at the front, able to get through. 4 more points for the St. Louis Beekeepers. Whiplash still working, able to get through now. 4 points for the Red Flags. Seconds left to go. Rolling Thunder seeing if he can squeak more. A couple more points before this jam comes to its natural conclusion.
Wow.
And it looks like Rolling Thunder was able to pick up 2 points, but so was Whiplash.
Looks like 10 points to the Beekeepers and 10 points to the Red Flags. $27 points separating these two teams, 203 to 176. 9 minutes and 10 seconds to go, rolling into Jam 18.
Jamming for the Beekeepers, it's going to be Static Shock, but taking lead jammer, it's Malaboomer for the Red Flags. Malaboomer finding the friendly side on that outside, trying to get a whip, but Static Shock is through for the St. Louis Beekeepers. Malaboomer through on a scoring pass, 4 points, as Static Shock works on his first scoring pass for the Beekeepers. Malaboomer working on a second scoring pass. Strong wall of Beekeepers at the front, holding back Malaboomer, as Static Shock is also pushing on a strong wall of Red Flags defense.
Still a minute on the jam clock.
Diana Slamma attempting to do a little offense for Static. Malaboomer through, 4 more points for the Red Flags.
Chipping away at that Beekeeper's cushion.
Static Shock finding that outside line, and oh no, gonna go to the box on a track cut penalty. So this is now a power jam for Malaboomer.
And it's going to go for the full time. Or not. Malaboomer choosing to ice that jammer in the box. Static Shock into the $5 penalty box.
So probably a smart choice right now, as the Beekeepers also have a blocker in the box.
12 points to the Red Flags on that jam. 4 points to the Beekeepers. $19 points separating these two teams with 6:50 on the clock. CBD Hits dancing around trying to grab that lead jammer status. And does. Picking up some speed coming out of turn 4. Comes into the back of the back and turns around twice to get through for 4 points.
Double axle.
Yes.
Static
the human
Shock.
tornado, I like to say.
Yes, the human tornado. Well, Static Shock is now back on the track, doing a little tornado move himself.
1 hand Dan, 2 hands call.
After a solo game of Twister, CBD Hits is going to go ahead and call it there.
Indeed. but not before picking up 8 points. Chipping away at that beekeeper cushion.
It's a very close game that we're seeing right now. So I learned earlier that the Red Flags have actually never lost a game in the history of
That's
their
what
program.
you were telling me for. They're undefeated.
They're definitely
so far.
hungry to keep that undefeated status. But it looks like AA Battery is going to challenge that, getting lead jammer for the St. Louis Beekeepers.
We're going to find out after 5.5 minutes of gameplay.
Maliboomer for the Red Flags through on an initial pass as AA Battery gets through on a scoring pass and is going to call it before Maliboomer can hit the pack.
Red Flags are going to call a timeout. Let's hope they use it really wisely because they can only stop play one more time. As it stands right now, the clock is frozen at 5:11. Beekeepers with 2:11. Red Flags with 196. That's 15 points if you want to do the math.
You and your impressive math, Johnny.
You want to read an ad? Talk about some of our fine friends that sponsor IHOD 2026.
Oh, reading I can do. Thank you, Radical Wheels, for being here in-house. Radical Wheels is a trans-owned skate brand that puts community first. Little guy, big wheels, as their friends lovingly refer to it. So speaking of being good at reading, it looks like Lil Nas Slapex is going to be the jammer for St. Louis and Blue. Up against CBD Hits, number 124 for the Red Flags. And Little Nas Slapex is going to be lead jammer, but hot on his heels is CBD Hits.
It's a power jam.
CBD going to the box.
On
So
a
there's now a
forearm.
power jam for Little Nas Slapex. Oh, and a jammer switcheroo. Little Nas Slapex gets a track cut.
Flip flop jammer swap. Give the dog a bone.
So this is going to be a full 2-minute jam
Thank you, Rolene.
of two jammers that have been interesting to watch together in this game thus far.
Indeed.
It's like the
CBD
universe knew I wanted one more. This matchup gave me a full 2 minutes of it. Thank you.
CBD Hits clear on that initial, looking to score some points.
Red Flags losing a blocker. So now the point advantage will go to
CBD
The
Hits with
Beekeepers.
4 points in the pocket.
the free point advantage. I mean, oh, now Little Nas going to the box.
Wow.
And with
CBD Hits puts another 4 points up on the board. That's a box of Krispy Kremes. One pass away from taking the lead. And just like that.
One of those tornado moves you talked about, Johnny. CBD hits on that inside line.
Indeed. CBD Hits around the outside, picking up 20 points. Whoo, my.
And with that, we have another lead change.
Blue calls the timeout. They still have 2 ways to stop the clock. 2:15 to 2:16. 3 minutes left on the clock. Minus 2 seconds.
I need that lead change drink right now. This is so exciting. I'm hydrating with water, the true adult beverage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hope you enjoyed that CVM Sports commercial. Check out their website for all the cool stuff they provide for the roller derby athlete in your life. Never too early to shop for some presents. Well, I'm looking at the roller derby level up scoreboard. Red flags on top by 1. 2:58 on the clock. Take it away, Patty.
Rolling Thunder jamming for the St. Louis Beekeepers in blue up against Maliboomer for the Red Flags wearing red. And Rolling Thunder is going to be your lead jammer.
Maliboomer working against that block to put us at the front of the pack.
This is an excellent defensive wall right now. Doing a great job of holding back Maliboomer. The Red Flags attempting to do some offense for Maliboomer and help them get out as Rolling Thunder is on a scoring pass.
Red Flags trying to help their jammer out.
And we've had a star pass to the pivot for the Red Flags.
Ha-ha.
Rolling Thunder doing a little defense there, then calling it. So that's another lead change.
Yes, it is. 12 points on that jam for the Beekeepers. 227-216.
With a little less than 2 to go, the
That's
Red
11
Flags.
points.
The Red Flags going to put in their highest point scoring jammer, who is CBD Hits, up against number 5 Static Shock for the St. Louis Beekeepers.
Could we have another tie game 2 days in a row?
Perhaps.
I'm manifesting. Or won't manifesting.
Static Shock finding his way on that outside line and is going to be your lead jammer.
Static Shock doing a lot of double duty this weekend. Helping out on the stream team. CBD Hits clear on that initial, looking to score. Period clock under a minute.
Nice hit there from Wild Style on CBD Hits.
Wild Style with that jammer takeout. CBD Hits around the outside. Does get clear, picking up 4 points. Beekeepers pick up 4 points as well. 231, 220, 24 ticks on the clock. 11 points separating these two teams. Oh, my.
It looks like the Red Flags are going to take an official review right now. Thank you, Urban Apothecary, for supporting us on those. Urban Apothecary makes focus gummies, which would probably help me right now, getting all these names mixed up.
Take a breath. Take a drink.
I'm drinking water.
I'm just about out of tea, but we're just about out of time. I do want to take this opportunity to thank for each and every one of y'all for watching on this stream. Brought to you free by the Gatekeeper Stream Team, the best stream team in the whole wide world. That is the Gatekeeper Stream Team. Yay! Yeah, it helps when you have good things to announce. Well, I can tell you an explanation, but they were using it for a timeout. And the no-call stands. Red Flags can't stop the clock anymore. Beekeepers can stop it twice. Jam 24 starts. Take it away, Petty.
We have Little Nas Slaypex jamming for the St. Louis Beekeepers up against CBD Hits for the Red Flags. And CBD Hits is going to be your lead jammer. Our period clock has expired, so this will be the last jam with the red flags in control of it.
Wow.
Pack advantage going to the red flags as Little Nas Lapex is through on an initial pass. Little Nas Lapex now on a scoring pass as CBD has a huge jump on that inside line. 4 points for the red flags.
A lot of bodies hitting the floor over there. CBD hits, makes it through. CBD hits with 16 in the pocket. Calls it off and wins the game for the red flags.
Yeah. Didn't want to say anything, but there was a moment sooner when CBD hits could have called that.
We're going to have to wait for that one rolling whistle to make it official.
People in the stands were screaming, call it, call it. I'm not going to scream, call it. That was close.
That was super close.
If that call had not happened when it happened, the beekeepers would have taken that.
Wow.
And that is the importance of looking at your bench.
Absolutely. Make some noise for all our skaters here today. I am Johnny Pepper.
And I am Petty LaBelle. Thank you for joining us.
We'll be right back with some MVP picks in just a little bit.
Thank you. All right. As we finish up our high five. All right. As we finish up our high fives, I'm getting ready to announce the MVPs for this game. Everyone played an excellent game on both teams. It was so fun and exciting to watch. But they let me pick them, and you can probably guess from my excitement who I'm going to pick because I enjoyed watching these two skaters battle it out. So our MVP for the St. Louis Beekeepers is going to be Lil Nas Slapex. Slay! And our MVP for the red flags is going to be CBD hits. You know I'm giving you a Is that the mic?
Shout out to Team Cali!
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on our second day of IHOD. We'll see you all tomorrow.
running circles, running around. Break down, chase the light. We're all ambled on the go. Running for my life. Feel the light. Running for my life. Running for my life. Running for my life. Head high, we're alone. Are we taking all in front of us? Head high, how could we know it was all along on the side? We should read between the lines. Now we're on the right way to go. Head high, we're not alone. Oh, we are not out of luck. Running for my life. Feel the light. Running for my life. Running for my life. Running for my life. Running wild, I'm running for my life.
Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know, I don't know. Tell me, have I lost my mind? Nowhere to go, so far from home. Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know, I don't know. Tell me have I lost my mind? So I break these walls and hold my head up high, and I swear my pride until the day I die. As the rain falls down, there's no more tears to cry, tears to cry. So I break these walls and hold my head up high. No, I'm not giving in. 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 No, I'm not giving. No, I'm not giving. No, I'm not giving. No, I'm not giving. I'm not giving. No, I'm not giving.
I can't take it anymore. My mind's about to go to war. I need someone to save me from myself, to hear me cry when I call out for help. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end, holding out, but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano. Like a volcano. Blow it up like a volcano. What you do, what you do, what you do to me? Can't you see what it means when you're second free? What you do, what you do, what you do to me? Can't you see what it means when you're second free? Another day to lose control. There's a fire in my bones. My sight gets blurry, pushing back